Piggy. Wouldn't share.
Call the September 8th Finance Committee meeting order at 9 o'clock. Roll call.
Schmidt.
Present.
Alt.
Here.
Curtis.
Yes.
Raymond.
Present. Any public comments?
Yeah, I've been working on this recycling event, and I contacted the paper and the radio. The newspaper wants to put a 3x5 ad in the Spirit on the 13th, because the event's on the 17th, I want to do a post to that. And then another ad in the paper on the 14th. They want $345 for those ads. The radio said they'll start in the morning of the 12th, for 5 days, they'll put 2 announcements, one in the morning, one in the evening, leading right up to the event, so that way it's refreshing people's minds. And they need $100 for that. So, I'm going to need a motion from the committee to get those checks. And also, I'd like to have $10 for water, bottled water and ice for volunteers.
They won't do any of that under...
I've been in contact with a lady from Onarga Academy, and she thinks she can line up some of those academy boys for public service. That's what she wants to do. She's got to get back in contact with me.
How many trucks you say you had coming?
2 semis with the third one in reserve.
Just one in reserve?
Yeah, it was a contract for 2, but they put a third one in reserve just out there, just for the good nature of it.
I bet you're going to use all 3 if not more.
We'll see. The contract was for 2 semis.
So what does everybody think on the advertising?
I have to have the check, by this afternoon, both those checks, they've got to have the money by today, the 8th, to get the ads in.
Couldn't that be a public
You don't
announcement?
have to pay for it, right? Because usually the paper bills us.
Radio wants the money up front, $100.
Oh.
The newspaper didn't say anything about money up front. We can probably pay that later. They'll work on that. We'll be all right.
The radio could be considered a public service.
We do have, we budgeted 12,000, we approved expenses up to 12,000. And we're going to be way below that, right? What if
Yeah.
we,
Yeah.
2,500
They're
plus
come out
whatever
maybe
the scrap
4,500
is.
at the most.
So you've got the money there if you want to just approve the expenses.
Need a motion to approve it?
I
So
so
we got
moved.
approved, we'll go ahead and pay it.
Yeah, it's already approved.
Mm-hmm.
Don't bother me.
We'll just go ahead and pay it because we were already approved up to 12,000. We want that 2,500 on it.
So I pick the checks up in this afternoon, they'll be ready? They need the money today.
Okay, what we'll have to do is, as soon as we leave here, I'll have to make a claim and have Brett approve it. Under the claim, you're going to want to just call that one out separate and approve it, and then we'll have to do it that way.
Any other public comments? Seeing none, Randy?
I think it's been 12 months.
And that turns out after today. Okay, thank you. Susie?
I just have a few things to go over. We did get the compliance control, it started out at 9.9%, we've been down to 5%. We did receive the Delta renewal as well, that's coming in with the increase on the admin fees for 3%. And an increase on actual rate from 3.4%. I am meeting with some competitive proposals back from the carriers, and that's actually really can be like in the fees this year. Our IMA addition plan has not renewed until 2018. I know Anita has, and I've spoken to some employees that are happy with IMA. We can pull the EFT again off renewal if that's something you guys want to do, if that goes and the package have the employees to the voluntary vote on that. That I can get that together we can get that vote going if we want to put this in place at 12/1 of 2016. You know, I'll get the vote going and then we'll go.
Yeah, the input I've had, and I'd like to hear the input from the rest of you, but what I'm hearing from people is the big difference in IMED, I think, I don't use it, so I don't know for sure, but what I'm hearing is there's really no coverage for things like tinting and anti-scratch. So what our employees are finding is that although their monthly deduction is much less, when they go to buy their actual glasses, it's like hundreds of dollars more. And I'm looking for some feedback from anyone. Yeah. You've never heard anything from your employees, Lisa? Any complaints at all or feedback? Bob, nothing? Okay.
Yeah, well, when you do, it's a big difference from what the coverage we had previously.
Yeah, both Amanda, and Amanda has children on the plan, and I think that gets quite expensive. So I don't know, for me it doesn't matter, but I want to know what the employees want.
I had, it was a big difference when my family used it, and both of my employees, it was a big difference. In fact, they didn't even purchase the new glasses.
Well, why don't we get a big quote from BSE competitive, they'll choose your rate as well, and then we compare, and if we want to take that back, we can easily make that back for December 1st.
Is there a big difference in premium?
I don't remember. There was $2 difference, but I think going back to BSE, I got maybe a rate discount.
Right.
If we want that, we'll fight for that.
It went from VSP was not huge, I want to say $12 a month for single, for employee only, and then this is $6. So it's not a big difference in dollars, but as a percentage it was like half. So, but if you're paying hundreds of dollars more for your glasses, that $6 doesn't get you much.
So we'll make sure we get that, and I'll get that over to you, and we can then decide what the employee wants to do that meeting. Last but not least, we do have a date set for November Fair, yeah, Thursday, 17th, and Friday, the 18th. So it'll be like, we'll have our, your information, like last year, after I also present that to the other raffle, people can come in and go from there. And that's all I have today.
Anybody else have any questions? Thank you. Department head reports, Mindy?
Collection is at 79% right now. We've collected $38 million of $47 million to be collected. We'll go through our certified mail process of publication. That's coming up. The other thing is we received a payoff check for the gathering loan. So that will be positive.
Good.
I think that's it.
Okay. Lisa?
I don't have anything.
Eric?
Yeah, just a few things. Back on the 26th of August, I had a deputy, detective was assaulted by an individual, and he's still off. He's had surgery on his arm, and I don't have a date on when he's coming back. That week, the day prior to that, on the 25th, I had one car working, and within a matter of about 60 seconds, two calls came in. One was a rollover accident with injuries, the other was an individual armed with a knife that was outside the house yelling. So the detective that got hurt on Friday went to the call, the man with a knife. On the way over there, I talked to you guys about the unmarked squad cars and this and that. He lost power to his radio, his siren lights, everything. So his vehicle still was operable, so he could get there. But I've had several people since the public safety tax is going to be put on the ballot, asking that money going to be used for? And then what I tell them is that ultimately the county board has control of it, that it has to be used for public safety. I think it would behoove the board or the finance committee or whoever, and I understand there's people that are on the finance committee that are not in favor of it, but I think it would behoove them to put something out so that if you're going to let the people vote on it, educate them as to what you're going to do with it, if it were to pass. Let them be informed and make a decision based on that. What I would hate to see happen is after the fact, someone say, well, I didn't know you would have hired one deputy, but I didn't know you would have done this, or I didn't know you would have done that with this or that, because I didn't know, I didn't vote for it. So my recommendation was on the projection of a little over 400,000 from the Internal Revenue Service, or Department of Revenue, I'm sorry, in Illinois. About 25% of that would cover the cost of 2 deputies with benefits.
But no cars. We'd still be short cars.
Yes, it would cover, you use about 25% of that 400,000, or a little over 400,000. Salaries and benefits for 2 deputies. You throw another 25,000 on top of it for a squad car for them. You're talking about the $150,000 range, which still gives you $250,000 for other things, which could include, we've got aging radios, which are thousands of dollars. We've got mobile data computers and squad cars, which we're on our 3rd round of those, that the county has never had to pay a penny for. I've been able to get grants for those. However, like most everything happening with the federal government now, the public safety grants are drying up. After 9/11, you could get a grant for about anything related to public safety. Fire departments were getting new fire trucks, police departments were getting all kinds of things, and those grants over the last 15 years have started to dry up. The last time we did the squad, the computers and the squad cars, they were between $6,000 and $7,000 each, and there's 7 of them, so that's, between $40,000 and $50,000. This could be used for that. We have a fingerprint machine that's tied into the Bureau of Investigation of Joliet, where all the arrestees' fingerprints get submitted to via PT1 line. It's not done on paper and mailed in anymore, fingerprints. That machine is about $25,000. We're on our 2nd one. We've got grants for both of them, but again, it could be a cost that there's not a grant out there available for. That's something that would benefit. On the 27th, on the 26th of August, after the detective got assaulted, I had a 1/3 of my staff unavailable for work. I had one out on the Workman County. I had another one who was off all week with his knee. He was the prior for Workman County. Got hurt last fall. And I had another one who was off for several days because of back problems. So trying to provide 24-hour-a-day service with a 1/3 of your staff not available to work, it gets a little complicated. So this is something, in my opinion, that if you educate them and let them know, they're going to be better informed on what they're going to vote for. If they don't know, if they look at it as just it's the county collecting money, you're probably not going to get much support out of it. And, I mentioned to you, I mentioned the judicial, I've even mentioned the full county board. It's getting to the breaking point. My staff is down 33% from 6 years ago, postal service are up 31%. And that's the staff health. You start throwing in vacation days and sick days and this and that. The 6 hours out of the day with one car on, sometimes it comes 8 to 12 hours a day with only one car on. And that is just my thoughts on it. If you put it on the ballot, let the people out there that are gonna vote on it know what you're gonna use the money for. That's all I have.
You say if we put on the ballot, it was voted to put on the ballot.
I know, I said, you did put it on the ballot,
Yeah,
but
you did.
you need to educate the folks on what that money is gonna be used for. If you're quiet about it, their assumption is you're gonna collect it and just do whatever. But, you know, in the budget process, Charlie, we have to bring you a budget that says what we're using the money for.
Well, you have to do that now then.
So, since you're in control of the public safety fund that we're to pass, the people out there would like to know what the board is gonna spend that money on. I'm not in control of it, Ed's not in control of it, 911's not in control of it, the county board's in control of it.
I agree with you, we need to find some way to get it out there. That put up the cost, I think. There's no money to spend to advertise for it.
Even if it's discussions in committees, even if it's discussions in the full county board on, if people read what it is your discussion is about that, it's gonna be better informed to vote on it.
So like, we need to have a committee, I know we got a special meeting, maybe we can talk about that too, our special meeting that we have to have. So. Okay. Is that it then?
That's it, thank you.
Nyla?
Just one thing, and I apologize, maybe for not getting a hold of it, but I'll talk to you, remember, was it 34,000 you wanted from ETSD, is that correct? For the joint dispatch?
I believe that's what we put in.
Okay, and then that's what our board approved as well.
Oh, good.
I just want to let you guys know that they did approve to put the 34,000 into it for this year, or for the 2017 budget, I should say. So if that helps you for your budget figures, and that, something I want to say. I also like to talk about the public safety tax. I passed out those forms to be able to give you guys, and I agree. When Western North in the Public Safety Tax Act in 2010, I know that a lot of the things that were said was something that they didn't trust the county board on exactly what they were going to do, and that there wasn't a plan. Jerry just talked about good patrols on the road and also heavy vehicles, and one vehicle obviously for those two patrols. I definitely think that is important. Working dispatch is tough when you only have one car on the road, and like Jerry explained, you have a gentleman with a knife and you have a low risk accident, you have one car on, looking at investigators, and now there's one investigator, so it's tough to be able to provide a service for the public. And I definitely support patrols and also their fire department for those two patrols. That would be something that would be coming out of that public safety tax. The Department of Revenue gave us $101,000. I referred that on it. You need to have a copy of that. I also have a copy of it, of the email that I received from the Department of Revenue. So that amount has been determined for that 4%. As you know, joint dispatch has been part of my budget issue as far as where the money's going to come from. As you know, 911 is looking at having about $800,000 worth of equipment by 2020, and we're still working on that. We're still trying to figure out, what we can do to lower maybe that amount. That amount could be used towards our $800,000. We need to be able to get that. But with joint dispatch, I think it's saving. Right now, I'm talking about charging all the fire departments and everybody else an additional amount of money to really make that budget happen. And I think if we can go back to the original amount that we started back when we can't when our charging joint dispatch, the county only paid $125,000, the city paid $125,000. And right now, I think that would be almost a $40,000 saving if we use the public safety money to go towards that. So it's like $100,000, I'm going to throw out a couple figures here. Their needs like $125,000, $150,000, but $125,000, $140,000 towards joint dispatch. They take it up about $300,000 it would. And that would be every single year that amount would be taken out of that. I do know that the sales tax does decrease. When Western I did this back in 2010, the quarter amount was about $565,000, if I got amount, if I remember right. So obviously, it went down over $150,000 in sales tax in Woodward County, and that amount in the last 6 years. So that amount obviously is going to change. I know it's going to go out, but it also gives us $100,000 extra to be able to use other things like Derek talked about, the ECD, 911 can use a part of that money to be able to get next generation 911 up and running. And that type of thing is there's definitely need. One thing that several people have approached me about is Code Red. And one of the programs that you get, and actually everybody in your Quinn County can join that, if you get cell phone messages with something occurring in your area. Sheriff's Department can use it, let's say if they have burglaries in a certain area, they'd be able to send out a message. I heard of a oil order in Buckley this morning, that could be sent out to Buckley residents to know that they have a oil order in their area. And you also use it by ESSA, or I don't know where it's called now, or weather alert to people. So if you use to alert our county, they two things that are presently occurring in our county outside of, Facebook, that actually give an alert come through their system. And I got a $12,000 that's what the legal cost. I'm not sure whether you're going to cost them on that, but that's something that can be used also that I really benefit the public safety of the residents in Lincoln County. I think Eric and I are willing to go around and talk to these people and try to promote this, but I feel that we have to have the support of the board and actually know where this money's going to go before we could actually step into that and be able to talk. I want to talk to all the villages and give us the money as far as joint dispatch goes. And I'd like to talk to your fire department because I'd like to let them know that this doesn't have their price increase, a lot more than $200 that's coming here on 2018 budget. Because our costs are going to go up. And the villages are often going to have that happen with their police department. Because right now, somebody pay about $1,800 and they're going to go up too. So they pay $10,000, and everybody does nothing but that's not going to go up. And I think it's important those people that you have contracts with, my contract has to be done by December 1st, that they are aware of what the public safety act can do to stay throughout the Iroquois County. Any questions?
No, but just we've got a special meeting that's going to be coming up because we got to tie the budget and get it all done. Maybe you guys could put some numbers of how you think that $400,000 and submit it to us and see if we're okay with it.
We don't know yet.
We got to set the date later in the meeting. Anything else? Tom? Paul? Health Department.
This is Tuesday, that I did report to the health committee on Tuesday, that the state owed the health department a little over $113,000. And then Tuesday afternoon, we received $103,000 in the state check. So, it's good.
Okay, we're down to discuss that appointment.
Okay, so I've got two, did I give you these? Yeah. Two just recap sheets to kind of look at on what's been done in the last 30 days, which is not a lot. You can just if you would. Yeah. Okay. If you look at the one that is yellow, in yellow, highlight, that's what we showed last month as of August 4th, that Finance Committee meeting. We were down, we were negative $53,683. If you look on the second page, you'll see the list of changes, and I can talk through those. First, we added, to get to today's amount, we added an extra $3,100, $3,137. Yesterday at the Management Committee meeting, there were increases to the leases in this building, so that totals $3,100, so I added that back in. As of August 4th, there was one of the items to get to a minus 53 was not to rehire one of the probation officers that has quit. So What wasn't in there was Tom explained that 80% of that salary would be reimbursed by the state, and so I hadn't reduced revenue, I had reduced the expense side. So if you take the starting salary of $39,000 about, and take 80% of that, you have $31,500, so I reduced revenue by $31,500. Sheriff had a resignation from the corrections department. There's an addition, a lowering of his expenses of $11,500 about, which is due to going from somebody with Jeremy's seniority to a new hire. So there's a savings there of $11,500. And then, these probably shouldn't be in here, but Tom had agreed to pay early intervention and tuition reimbursement out of probation fees, so there's another $6,500. And then in assessment, there's a minus $11,575 and there's a plus $26,554. In talking to Bob, and this hasn't been approved by the board at all, but we talked on Tuesday about the, Bob feels strongly that he needs to rehire that clerk position. That's that $18,575. So that comes back in as an increase to his salary. But decrease, what we talked about is the GIS fund. With GIS going online next year, we feel like there's one clerk, Bob indicates there's one clerk that works with Bruce Harris solely. So we could take that salary and move that to the GIS fund instead of paying it out of the general fund. So there's a net difference there of about $8,000 between a starting salary and where that employee is at this point. So if you take all those things, we go from minus $53,600 to minus $55,000, well, essentially $56,000, $55,975. So really a minus $2,000 for all of that activity. Now, the pink one would say, what if, and Tom feels strongly he needs that other position. So, and that one, you can see in pink, says, what if we rehire that probation officer? So essentially, the only change from what we just talked through is salary increases, but so does the tuition reimbursement from the state of Illinois, and that would put us at minus $63,844. So we're at either minus 56 or minus 64 at this point. And I guess that's kind of what Kyle's input this morning was, that he feels like we should have a special meeting within the next week or so, rather quickly, before people get in the field, to resolve these issues and make sure we've got a budget that we can approve to post at our October meeting. Yeah, we do need another meeting. The other thing I did give you, do you have it all there? The FICA fund is there. That wasn't in your notebook previously. It's a zero levy fund, so it doesn't impact the general fund at all. Do you have it? Did I give it to you? Yeah, it's a single sheet. Here, Charlie. It might be over there, but there you go. And you can see there, it's just based on the salaries that are in the budget. That's on the back sheet. And then on the front is just the way that one goes out. I'll forward this to Dale. Yesterday he stopped by for everything for the levy, so this would just be part of the levy. But there's that detail if you want to look through that. I don't know if you have any questions on that one. kind of pretty self-explanatory. We use an imputed rate. The actual FICA rate is 7.65%, but there's an imputed rate because there are some earnings that reduce your taxable income. Things like your health insurance, dental, Kansas City Life up to $50,000, vision is in there. So we use an imputed rate, which is pretty much our historic rate of 7.4.
Moving on to, we already kind of did that,
Put this back.
clean up
This
the
No, you can have
This is
this
yours.
extra.
discussion of countywide cleanup day. We're going to scratch off River Valley Recycling on that because they're not doing it. And Larry already told us in the public comments. Got nothing more on that. Discussion of plunk loan. Didn't think so. Claims, everybody had a chance to look through them.
I move we pay the claim.
Charles, look, any claims, wait a second. Ernie, second.
Subject to county board approval, I guess.
Roll call?
Schmidt?
Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
Curtis? Raymond?
Yes.
Do you want a separate motion for your ad for the...
Yes. We'll have to have a separate motion to pay the claim of the ad to the newspaper for $100. Or the radio, that was the radio.
Right, that's
The
the
newspaper will not have to pay yet. Is that correct?
That's correct.
We need a separate motion, because that's not in the claims I got here. Ernie?
Second.
Charlie, second.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Paul? Curtis?
Yes.
Raymond?
Moving on to any old business?
You want to set a date for that special meeting?
We can do that under claims or new business.
Yep.
But when do we want to do it? Gotta get, it doesn't have.
What do you say, within a week?
Well, I mean, it's got to be, I don't know what you're thinking, Dan, on when you're going to get in the field, or I guess that's the input. What does your schedule, this board schedule look like in the next couple of weeks before, I mean, the...
If it keeps raining, it'll be a lot longer.
I would say probably next week would be the safe bet. The guys are gonna start getting busy doing stuff out. Getting ready.
When?
Late next week.
Well, that's Thursday.
Thursday or Friday, something like that. That'd be a safe bet.
What about the 14th?
14th would be Wednesday.
Wednesday, day after the board meeting. I can't make Wednesday. I can't make Wednesday, but that's me.
15th to 9 o'clock.
That sounds fine. But I'm good with it, you guys. Okay. The next board meeting will be the 15th at 9 o'clock. For the
That'll still leave.
Finance.
We want to meet again or have 15th, we thought that would do it.
15th?
Yeah. 9 a.m. on the